Alright, Colin, what's up? It's the Green Valor, and today I'm going to talk to you about two things. First is emotional currency, just explaining what that is, and calling in favors, and how to do that. So, to start it off, emotional currency is as it sounds. It's not some crazy definition. It's just currency you attain or others attain from you through emotion. So a friend or family member can utilize this, or someone you've met, someone you're in contact with day to day that knows you quite frequently and will end up seeing you further down the road. Can utilize emotional currency, which can be exchanged for favors by either party. Now, oftentimes friends and family, since you're so close and hang out all the time, you can call an emotional currency in the way of favors. Maybe you're short a few bucks at the movie theater and your buddy covers you. That's an emotional favor that he gets to call in later down the road because he covered a bit of your fare. Something like that. I believe there are significantly more. This thing gets really complex the further you go into it. More specifically is things like the friend zone. When you get locked into that, first of all, it if you understand emotional currency and favors, you will never be stuck in the friend zone because you'll opt out of that shit real quick when you understand these favors do not work in your favor. Uh, no pun intended. But if they don't work in your favor, then you're gonna leave. You're not gonna think about it any longer, and it won't apply to you any longer. Uh, you'll laugh at people who get stuck in the friend zone because they're exchanging emotional currency for nothing. They get no value out of that. But this is to help people understand how to get ahead in life, because the only way to get ahead is to call in favors and network with people. The more you network with people, the more emotional currency you can start spending and putting into people, and the more favors you can start calling out. Now, this can be anything from simply getting jobs or getting some work done around your house. So let's say you have a friend who's a carpenter, and you've been helping him out a lot with whatever your expertise is, and you want him to do your floors for you. Maybe install some hardwood floors. He's got to install but you want to do your whole floor. You got to get your whole floor redone. So it's not just installing the hardwood. He's got to do the baseboards and everything too. So he's like, oh, you've been doing all this stuff for me. I'll just do that for you, and all you have to do is buy the material. So instead of tacking labor on top of the cost of material, he just charges you. I thought my video went out for a minute. He just charges you for the material, and he gets it all done for you. That's a favor you can call in, and it saves you literally thousands of dollars in labor costs. And you'll notice that there are several jobs out there who, now these people don't necessarily contribute a product, but they contribute a sort of, I want to say, just labor. Just knowing how to do something. And it's not a product you can get, it's not some physical thing, it's just doing something like a mechanic. A mechanic can fix your car. Now, you can fix your car too, but you need the knowledge to do so, or you need to understand exactly what's causing the problem and spend hours on Google or something trying to figure out what the fuck's going on with your car. Whereas a mechanic can get it fixed in a few hours, but they charge you for the materials, whatever they had to use, on top of that with labor for what they had to go through, and it can oftentimes be a lot more than you thought it was. I'll give you an example of something. So we have some pavement people, some asphalt layers, or whatever you want to call them, down the road, some Italian family. I've known this Italian family since I was like, I want to say in the 4th or 5th grade, because I was friends with their son. So my dad ended up getting to talk to them and know them, and they go to the shop all the time because my dad's a mechanic. He exchanged them doing some asphalt work outside and paving our whole driveway, and they exchanged that to do some work on one of their trucks they have to use for the job. And that's kind of sort of an exchange of favors right there. And that's something you can do with friends and family as long as you're constantly exchanging that emotional currency. But otherwise, it's sort of a dead end, just like the friend zone thing. If you do a favor for someone you don't really see it often or see at all, that's just emotional currency that's gone. That you might as well just throw your money out there, just burn it because it's useless to you. What you really want to do is only invest in people you're going to see day to day. One of the best ways to develop a good network for emotional currency is a religious group. If you're already religious, I encourage you to go to Bible study or something like that, because you can network with people, get an emotional currency, and for whatever reason, these religious groups tend to cash it in quite frequently. So this is a nice way to network, get jobs, or get some work done that you need to get done but don't have the skill or the knowledge to do so. That's a great way to do it if you're religious. If you're not, I'd suggest joining some fan clubs or groups, something tangible, something physical where you can actually go out there and meet with people, like a convention in your town, and see if you can get a lot of people from your town in there and start talking to them, network, become friends, and go that route. Go somewhere that piques your interest, or somewhere just to meet people. That could be anything, and try to network that way. And the most important part about building emotional currency with people and getting those favors cashed in, of course, is networking and making friends, of course. So, uh, developing this knowledge of emotional currency and exchanging favors is important because, first off, you're going to be making friends. You have to be in order to keep this going, so you can keep exchanging these favors so you can get ahead in life. And of course, you're getting the added benefit of just being able to get through certain things in life. Maybe you have a shit job and you want to get ahead. Well, this is probably the best way to do it. The other way is to get more knowledge by paying thousands of dollars going back to school, or you can get in with someone you already know. Maybe they can get you a reference and you can get into a job. And that's another thing, references. You can always call in a reference from someone you know because they know that they can call in a reference from you. So you're not really exchanging any favor there. It's just understood that each of you can call in that reference if you need to, which is very nice. So there are many benefits to doing this. Now I'm going to tell you a story about a friend of mine, and I'm going to wrap this video up because it's getting a little long. I was friends with her for about 7 or 8 years before I finally decided to, fuck it. And we had been feeding off each other for a while over this time. And then, after about the 7th year mark, we tried dating, and I realized how much of a fucking terrible person she was, and that didn't work out. Uh, it's just, she ended up calling in all her emotional favor with me, or just burning it. That's another thing about emotional favors. You can just flat out burn it away by fucking that person over. If you fuck over someone, they're not going to want to help you. But because I built this system up over years of my life, and I started developing around the 9th grade, so I was already pretty well ingrained by the 12th grade or 11th to 12th grade when we met, and I started building it up. And I couldn't really cut her off until I felt that the emotional currency was already burned away. And by that point, I just kind of smoothed my way out of there and cut off ties with her completely. Because let's think of this like a company, right? So maybe you own several businesses, and one of your businesses, the one year, they go from green, they go from making you money to red really quickly within 1 year. Uh, the company's going to cut you off and get rid of you, sell off your assets, whatever it takes to cut those losses. And that's essentially what I did with this person. I had to cut her out because she was costing my emotional currency with other people. I was hanging out with other friends. Emotional currency can also be just like hanging out with someone. If you hang out with someone, maybe you'll ask them to hang out and they'll hang out with you. That makes you feel better. Just getting that social network going, just talking to someone, sometimes can be really beneficial for you. But when someone's dragging you down, they're burning away your emotional currency. You gotta get rid of them so you can be happy again. They throw you into a state of depression because you're piss poor of emotional currency. It's like having no money in the bank account. Obviously, you're going to be in a shitty mood. Same with emotional currency. Same with those favors. You can't call in a favor from someone. What worth are they to you? You can't utilize them. I know this sounds very cold, and you're like, Mike, you're so slimy. This is ridiculous. But everyone does this. Trust me, if you don't, you're lying to yourself, because if you ever called in a favor from someone, you utilize emotional currency. And this video is not to simply point out, emotional currency is a thing. It exists. You can call in favors. But there are genuinely people that don't understand these concepts, especially younger people. And there may be people out there that don't understand that they can cash in a lot of emotional currency right now that they're refusing to. They're sort of getting stepped over, and people are just using them and they need to start calling that emotional currency, or people are just going to be using them as a doormat instead of helping them out like they should be. Anyways, this is just the first video I'm going to make on this. I'm not sure if I'm going to make any more, but this is in case people ask, what is emotional currency? What are these favors I'm calling in? This video is going to be a reference to that. In the future, if I use this sort of analogy very heavily, these concepts, I'll probably link this video to that description. But otherwise, it's just an explanatory thing, just so you guys understand what emotional currency is, how to call in those favors, and what it all means. And I just gave you a bit of advice on how to network and get to know people, to establish the emotional currency with people, and call in those favors. This has been Green Valor. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, like the video or upvote, and of course comment, because I do love suggestions. I want to hear about how you cash in emotional currency. Maybe you have a story like mine with that chick. Who knows? But I want to know, honestly, about it. So drop it in the comments section. And you guys have a good day.